Yes, thank you, Vince. My name is Danielle Krotz. I'm the Business Development Coordinator for the City of Palm Bay. And I have my director along here with me, Nancy Bunt. So just really quick, just wanted to touch on a few housekeeping items just to ensure that the meeting goes smoothly. We do ask that if everybody could stay muted during the meeting. If you have any questions or comments or you're having any technical difficulties, just type them into the chat room. We will have a question and answer session at the very end, so if you prefer to speak, we can do that. And I also wanted to remind everybody that the meeting is being recorded, so it will be posted to our website at a later date, so it can be accessed that way. And that's all I got. Thank you.
Okay, we'll begin. As Vince mentioned earlier, my name's Ray Lewis. I work in the 8A division at the Fort Pierce office. We assist the headquarters with the HUBZone program. They are in charge of doing the certifications, making the rules and regulations. We assist with getting the information out, and periodically the headquarters asks us to go out and do an inspection at HUBZone businesses to make sure that they're valid and it keeps the integrity of the program. The HUBZone program is a great program. It's for historically underutilized business zones. Bear in mind, you're not guaranteed any contracts. You must bid just like everyone else, but it's just another certification that gives you another opportunity. From my experience, I found that typically companies like that do construction work, janitorial services, landscaping, have more opportunities in the HUBZone. Stuff that's real technical and professional services, there may not be a lot of HUBZone set-asides because it's hard to keep the 35% employees. Okay, we're going to go through this presentation. Contract incentive for small businesses, 23% of all federal purchases set aside for small businesses, 5% for small disadvantaged businesses, which is the 8A program, 5% for women-owned small businesses, 3% for service disabled veteran-owned businesses, and for this particular briefing, 3% goes to HUBZone set-asides. Some agencies do more. The HUBZone Federal Contracting Program is contracts for goods and services that are targeted by agencies to HUBZone certify small businesses. These can be done as set-asides, including multiple award contracts. There is an opportunity for sole source awards that typically doesn't happen, and you'll see further why. And a price evaluation. Application of 10% price evaluation preference is applied in full and open competition. It only applies if the low offer is from a large business, not if the low bidder is a small business, which this means if it's a full and open contract, depending on the evaluation criteria, price is really important. If a large business, is the lowest price, and you're a HUBZone, they have to add 10% to their cost, so that may put you in the zone. HUBZone designation. HUBZones are located across the U.S. and its territories. It's determined by a combination of unemployment, income, and/or events. Categories include qualified census tracts, qualified non-metropolitan counties, including difficult development areas, redesignated areas, qualified Indian reservations, former military bases, closed, BRAC, qualified disaster areas, and governor designated areas, which is a new. The governor designated area began in January 2020. Governors may petition the SBA administrator to designate certain areas. HUBZone covered area means located outside of an urban area, has a population of 50,000 or less, and rural communities with high unemployment. So the governor can request the SBA, and they'll designate these special zones if they meet this criteria. Eligibility requirements. You must be a small business, be at least 51% owned and controlled by a U.S. citizen, a community development corporation, an agriculture cooperative, an Alaska Native corporation, a Native Hawaiian organization, or an Indian tribe. You must have your principal office located in a hub zone and have at least 35% of the employees living in a hub zone. And there's a map on the SBA.gov that you can put your address in, and it'll let you know if your business is actually in a hub zone. How to apply, make sure you have a SAM.gov account, then make sure you have a general login system account, and this will be on our website. Apply for HUBZone certification using the general login system, log in, select access, and then HUBZone before completing the prompts. You're gonna have to submit all requested supporting documentation within 3 business days. Your submission cannot be assigned for eligibility review until all required documents are submitted. Be prepared to respond to requests for additional information from a HUBZone team within 5 business days. Failure to do so might get declined or they'll withdraw your application. My recommendation is when we get to the SBA.gov website, there's a checklist. I recommend that you download this checklist and get all your documents ready before you start doing the application, so you'll have everything prepared. And your local PTAC may be able to assist you with this. Improvements. If a firm is certified at the time of initial offer, it will be generally considered a HUBZone small business concern throughout the life of that contract. Once certified, a firm will be eligible for all HUBZone contracts for which the concern qualifies as small for a period of 1 year from the date of its initial certification or recertification, unless the concern is acquired by or merges with another firm during that period. If this ever happens, you need to self-notify to the HUBZone office in these changes. It could affect your status. Other new improvements, recertification will be now required every year with full documentation, or will now be required every year with full documentation required every 3 years. Firms with active federal contracts may be subject to full documentation review every year. I mentioned earlier, you may be, we may be tasked to come out and do a site visit at your business. A firm will be eligible to compete for HUBZone set-aside awards while attempting to maintain compliance with 35% HUBZone residency requirement. So as long as 20% of its employees reside in a HUBZone. If you ever get below the 35%, keep documentation showing that you're trying to hire people. HUBZone firms that are performing on a HUBZone contract at the time of their recertification must have at least 20% of their employees residing in a HUBZone to recertify. HUBZone firms that are not performing on a HUBZone contract at the time of recertification must have at least 35% of their employees residing in a HUBZone to recertify. Different types of set-asides and sole source awards. Contracting officer may award a sole source contract to a HUBZone if the contracting officers did not expect to receive offers from 2 at least HUBZones, and the price of the contract, including the options, will not exceed $7 million for manufacturing NAICS codes and $4 million for other requirements. Mentioned earlier, it's pretty difficult to do a sole source because the chances of not finding 2 HUBZone businesses that can do a contract is pretty rare, but it can happen and there are options. The requirement is not currently being performed by an 8A participant and it has not been accepted as an 8A requirement. If it's an 8A contract, it stays in that system. The HUBZone has been determined to be a responsible contractor with respect to performance. So it's important that you keep your performance rating goods and all your certifications up to date. And the contracting officer can be made at a fair and reasonable price. And this is a rule that for every type of contract the government awards, it has to be fair and reasonable to the government and the contractor. The HUBZone, they have a help desk. Well, there's the checklist. Take a picture of the screenshot there. And there's a link for the map. You click on that, you put your address in there. For specific questions, you can use this email address. I recommend on Tuesdays and Thursdays, they have call-ins that you can ask specific questions. The district office does not review, complete, or assist with the application process. Recommend you use these resources or the call-in. The district office, again, is just responsible for getting out the general information and going out to do HUBZone site inspections when required. Remember again that all contracts HUBZones typically have to be bid on, not guaranteed, any type of contract. So that's pretty good. I mean, it's a really good program. Just like anything other type of business, you can do your market research and find out if the government is buying your goods, and they typically set things aside on the HUBZone. But the certification is free. I recommend you use the PTAC and these resources, and don't pay anybody, but that's up to you. Most of these services are provided for free. That's the end of my presentation, and we'll be opening up questions. Unless, Vince, did you have to speak on something first?
Let's just see if there's any questions on the HUBZone information. Also, they can take a look up. I know we used to have the FBO.gov. Has that been modified and changed to something else, Ray?
Yes, it's beta.sam.gov. That's where all solicitations are posted in the federal government.
Yeah, so I would suggest that those people interested in doing HUBZones just to take a look at what's been letted out as far as government contracts for HUBZone firms and see if it's something that that you're interested in, or something that is in the industry that you are active in. So we got a couple questions. If not, I'm going to go over a couple other things. We have some time. I know everybody is busy on that, but luckily this is recorded. So what we talk about now, that it'll be able to have people look at this and see where we go on later on for some information as they listen to the video. So what I'm going to do, Danielle, I need to share my screen. So can I just let me just take control?
Yes, yeah. And then if not, you should be able to.
Okay, here we go. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay,
it's
great.
a learning center, correct?
Learning center, right. So
yeah.
Those of you that are familiar or may not be familiar with the SBA website, it's a very good tool for you to look and find out what is available for you. On the top of this, we have the business guide, we have funding programs, federal contracting, learning platform. So Ray is talking about federal contracting. So all the information you need for federal contracting is under this tab here. So contracting assistance programs, definition of a small disadvantaged business, WOSB, et cetera, et cetera. Down here, we talk about the HUBZone. So Ray talked about the HUBZone program here. And we talks about the program changes and improvements, what the benefits are, and how to apply to get certified for a HUBZone small business. So when you click on this, it goes through the tools here to how to apply to get certified for a HUBZone small business. Review the top tips for the HUBZone certification tip sheet and go forward on there. One, make sure you have the sam.gov, which Ray talked about, the general login, et cetera, submitting documentation, all that information is here. So if you click on this, it should give you what you need as far as your checklist. So here's the checklist under HUBZone supporting documentation. So download the PDF, take a look at that, get your ducks in a row before you try to apply. Going through that, there's other stuff here. We have an eligibility workbook tool. So if you look at that workbook tool, that's not going to work here. So let's just go down here. But that is there for you to look at as far as an Excel spreadsheet. Here is the email address, once again, for HUBZone at SBA.gov if you had any questions. The document checklist, which we talked about, how to maintain your HUBZone certification. All of that was in Ray's presentation. Everything is done, as Ray said, through the Office of HUBZone Program up in DC. Once again, this is their email address. Weekly information for the eligibility assistance is, again, on the ID here. Oh, wait, are they still using Skype, Ray, or do they go to Teams?
I don't know. It's maybe they still use that system, but I would do the call-in numbers.
Okay, got you on that one. So this is just a little taste of what is on for government contracting. Some of you may be interested in other forms of government contracting, disadvantaged women-owned small business, veteran assistance programs, 8A development, the mentor protege. We have a lot of large firms here that used to be 8A firms that, may look at doing the mentor protege program and help you get that taken care of or get you started in the 8A program. We can talk about 8A at a different date. There's a lot of stuff happening with the 8A and it keeps us pretty busy.
Vince, on the mentor protege program, the SBA does not match up folks.
Right.
Conflicts. So, if you're in that industry and you work with larger businesses, read about this program and it may work for you.
Like I said, it's available for those that might be interested in learning some information on it. Now, also don't know where you guys are, as far as thinking about starting a business, and you may have questions. Well, what do I do? Who do I talk to? So going back to the SBA.gov website, if you click on the learning program here, and you go on the platform. So we have online planning platform, the Learning Center. There's a program just for women, for the Ascent for Women. So you can do, this is a self-paced module system where you go through some different paces and all that and do some development on that. So I want to click on just the Learning Center so you can look at what's available on the Learning Center. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different stages of planning for your business. You can plan, launch, manage, market, or grow. And each one of these have several objectives. Well, not several, but a number of objectives. Planning your business, there are 70 objectives. So when you look at that and click on plan, it talks about how to write a business plan, what the legal requirements are to start your business, talks about if you want to buy a business, how to do it right. Then talks about, hey, maybe you know somebody in high school or even junior high that's thinking about being a young entrepreneur. It talks about some of those programs. We have a pretty active youth entrepreneur program here in Brevard County. So just go out to the Youth Entrepreneur Center and find out what they have available for students in this area. I know Bayside High had a very active one, and some of the other high schools have really good youth entrepreneur programs. So when you look at that and get kind of a plan, now you're ready to launch your business. So if you click on launch, we talk about several different things. Everybody needs financing. What's the time for financing? What you're gonna bootstrap or use your own money, but some of you will need to go out for financing. So it talks about different objectives and modules in that. It talks about pricing. I've been doing this for more than 15 years or so, and doing discussions on business plans and pricing. As a startup business, mainly your big problem is going to be, how do I price my product? We have a lot of resource partners here that can help you with that. The Small Business Development Center in Eastern Florida State College can help with that. Have the Women's Business Center, We Venture, and SCORE. So just find out on pricing and different ways to look at pricing. If you're doing high tech, we've got some stuff here for high tech. Note that the product life cycle in the high tech industry is something that most of our banks won't be able to handle, because you may have your business start. You may have a long lag time before you're profitable, and that's not something our businesses or our banks can look at, but there are other avenues for you to look at for financing on that. Then once you go to launch, you just don't forget about your business after you've launched it. You've got to manage your day-to-day operations. So some of the topics in that are going to be, how to recruit and retain your employees, how to understand your customer, what do they want, what are their needs. Look at your sales. Are you selling what you need to sell? Have you taken a look at your pricing? Is that correct? And all that. So here's other tools on how to get your product and your sales out to the general public or to your demographic market that you want to hit. Then eventually, you may decide to retire on your business. Unfortunately, a lot of businesses, business owners, when they look at that, they want to just go ahead, hey, I'm getting ready to retire. I'm just going to go ahead and just close my business down. Note that if your business has been profitable over all these years, you might look at just selling that and keeping a residual on that and getting some income for that business instead of walking away from your sweat equity that you may have had for 30 or 40 years for that business. And then finally, growing your business. So we have grow, we have market. Finding and attracting investors, should you want to go down that path and want to raise some capital on the equity aspect of it. We have some information on finding and attracting investors. has some pricing modules for different successful businesses. So if you look at that, you just look at how the price relates to marketing, and all these little tutorials are on there. So each one of these platforms has a tutorial that you can look through, and there's like a little workbook to do after the end of each one. So each one, as you can see, they range anywhere from 20 seconds to a few minutes long. So pace yourself on that. At the end of each module, there's a worksheet for you to look at and to try to just basically make your own notes on that and see where you are, and try to do your homework on that to get through these modules. So that's kind of what the SBA has to offer on that. If you have questions for the SBA, let me go back to this. Okay, let me stop sharing. If you have questions for the SBA, what you can look at on the SBA is just to go ahead and send us an email, which is going to be southflorida_@do@sba.gov to help you with that. Okay, so that is kind of where I am today on that. Did anybody have anything else to add? Did we have, I don't know who the 13 number is. Is that a business, or is that maybe the WBC?
Like the 321-405-9833.
Yeah, it's most of the numbers that started out for me.
Yeah, I guess if you can hear us, if you have a question, I believe you have to hit star 6 to unmute if you did have a question.
Yes, that's me, the number you just called. I couldn't download the application, so I just dialed in. My name is
Okay.
Sharon.
Okay, Sharon, did you have any questions for us?
Well, this is my first time joining the meeting, and I was wondering, I did get an email from the city in Palm Bay, and I was wondering if you guys offered help obtaining an SBA loan for a new business. So that's why I joined. I'll visit the website. If you have any input for me regarding
Sure,
that, I'm happy
sure.
to
Here, yeah, the way that works, I don't know what type of business you have. You said it's a startup, and I don't know how much you're looking to borrow, but there are a couple of avenues. First of all, the SBA doesn't do direct lending. It's done through intermediaries, be it a bank or a CDFI or a micro lender. So if you're looking for a small dollar amount loan, you might try one of our micro lenders, which is on the website as far as under financing. But the most active one, and I'll put it in the chat right now, is Ascendus. They're a micro lender. They're our most active micro lender. So take a look at their website here. I just put the email in the chat, which is Ascendus, ASCENDUS.org. Okay, they have an online application process that you can look at. Otherwise, you talk to the bank that you do business with and go get banking, go look at them for some type of an SBA loan.
Okay, wonderful. Can you just repeat that address, because I'm not able to see your.
Yeah, I know you're on the phone on that. So it's ASCEN, that's ASCENDUS.org.
Okay.
Got it?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, Miguel, you just joined us late. Did you have any questions for us? Miguel is typing. Okay, not a problem, Miguel. Sorry you missed the presentation, but it's all on our website, the SBA.gov, under federal contracting. Most of the information that we talked about is on our website.
Yeah, and Miguel, this is Danielle. You missed it too, but this actually was recorded, the workshop, so I'm going to have it posted to our website, and I will send you the link to it so you can go back and watch it.
Okay, that's it. Danielle, I think Ray and I are kind of cleared up and done on this. Did you want to add anything?
I didn't. I just wanted to say thank you to those who did join us today. We appreciate it, and I put up Nancy, my director, and myself, our contact information up on the screen. But our direct line number, I know for those on the phone, is 321-409-7187. So if you have any questions or need any help navigating, just give us a call, give us an email, stop by our office. Always open to help you. So thank you very much, everybody.
Yeah, hold on. Joan is typing a message.
What is your email address?
Whose email address?
This is
Who did-
Sharon again.
I think all-
Sharon, who did you need? Did you need my email address or Vince or Ray?
Yours is fine.
Okay, so mine is econ, ECON, dev, DEV, at
Okay.
pbfl.org.
That's P like Peter, B like boy.
Yes, yep,
Okay, great. Thank you.
pbfl.org. Yep.
Okay.
And you did get, if you got my email before with the flyer on it, you can always respond to that email as well.
Yes, I did. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you so much for joining, Sharon.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Danielle,
I don't know how to
Nancy,
mute
thank you.
myself, so if you guys want to mute me, I don't know how to do that.
Yeah, I think we're about done on this. So Nancy and Danielle, I thank you for hosting this for us. Before we sign off, are there any additional housekeeping items you need from us?
Nope, that's it.
No, thank
Okay,
you, Vince. and Ray.
Yeah, also before we hang up, did you guys want to just talk about what the city has done with the, what you and We Venture have done or what you're looking to do?
Oh, absolutely. The city partnered using some of our CARES funding to be able to provide some assistance with our businesses. We Venture actually provides technical assistance and training. And so we can also send out that link to you, Sharon and Miguel, so that if there is some assistance that We Venture can assist you with, then you can directly contact them, since we do have a contract with them to provide some technical assistance. So we'll make sure we send that out with the link. Thank you, Vince.
Thank you. Thank you all. Ray, thank you for the presentation. Everybody have a good day, and we'll do this again some other time. Thank you all. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.